everyone, it's Maddie Olette. For my junior seminar academic project, I decided to write a review paper on the mechanics of hypothermia. And in this PowerPoint presentation, I will be giving a brief overview of what I wrote. The CDC states hypothermia is caused by prolonged exposure to very cold temperatures. Cold temperatures cause the body to lose heat faster than it can be produced. If one is exposed for a prolonged time, the body will eventually use up the stored energy, and as a result, to survive, the body lowers the overall temperature. Body temperature is important for a lot of biological functions, especially for the brain to function properly. As the temperature of the body remains falling, the body will shunt blood away from the skin to reduce the amount of heat lost. If it keeps falling, the organs begin to fail, which can lead to death. This just shows the dangers of hypothermia. Temperatures when this will occur is commonly around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Increased chances of a hypothermia will occur if the victim is exposed to water. Victims of hypothermia are usually older or younger individuals. And behavioral warning signs of onset hypothermia include shivering, exhaustion, confusion, memory loss, and drowsiness. Physical warning signs include bright red skin, low energy, and no sensational feeling on the skin. I find that hypothermia is often brushed off and it's not realized that it's a medical emergency. There are two different types of hypothermia, primary and secondary. Primary hypothermia is when the cold environment directly impacts pathology, while secondary hypothermia is seen more commonly is when a patient's illness causes phenotypes of hypothermia. To understand how hypothermia affects the human body, it's critical to understand thermoregulation. This is the mechanism that maintains body temperature by controlled self-regulation. Temperature regulation is a type of homeostasis. Humans and mammals are endotherms, meaning they use thermoregulation to maintain a constant internal body temperature. This is where hypothermia significantly impacts the health of humans because it disrupts this homeostatic process. Thermoregulation is controlled by the hypothalamus. This section of the brain is located below the thalamus and above the pituitary gland in the brain stem. In the case of hypothermia, the hypothalamus will sense the external temperature is too cold. It will automatically send signals to the skin, muscles, and organs. This results in the skeletal muscle tensing up, which can lead to shivering, and the erector pili muscles will raise the body hair. These mechanisms are used to create and trap heat. Once these methods no longer function due to extended exposure, multiple organ systems will begin to be negatively affected. Individuals who are submerged in water have a greater chance of survival due to hypothermia. This is due to the mammalian diving reflex or response. This response is used to override basic homeostatic reflexes that cause hypothermia. Several physical adaptations are used to control vasoconstriction and conserve energy. This is done by controlled respiration during submersion. Obviously, mammals can't breathe underwater, therefore to survive, they rely on intrinsic oxygen stores bound in the blood and muscles, specifically to hemoglobin and myoglobin. The use of intrinsic oxygen stores maintains aerobic metabolism, which reduces cardiac output drastically by decreasing blood pressure. The sympathetic nervous system counteracts this pressure drop by reducing blood flow to secondary organs and maintains a steady flow to the central nervous system, heart, and brain, which are essential organs for survival. This set of reactions ultimately make the diving response, a process which maintains life during hypothermia-induced water submersion. The diving response begins immediately once submerged in the cold water. It prevents aspiration of water, redistributes oxygen stores to the heart and brain, which prevent hypoxia, slows cardiac oxygen use, and initiates a hypometabolic state. Although many people think of hypothermia as a medical emergency, as I just stated, but new research has showed that therapeutic hypothermia can be helpful for patients who undergo brain injury. Therapeutic hypothermia was first studied in 1943 and is used to improve neurological functions after cardiac arrest and after brain injury. There are two types of way therapeutic hypothermia works. One is an internal method where a catheter is inserted, which cools the blood and regulates the internal body temperature. The second is an external method, where individuals have compressions that are hooked up to water hoses that regulate the temperature via externally. Once the body has reached the required amount of time for the temperature wanted, the body will then be raised to normal body temperature slowly. And one paper that I really found interesting was a clinical study with patients treated with mild hypothermia after cardiac arrest to improve neurological outcome. Here they compared mild hypothermia to normothermia patients. The primary outcome was a favorable neurological outcome within 6 months of cardiac arrest with the hypothermia treatment. Also, the death rate decreased 14% in patients treated with mild hypothermia after 6 months from cardiac arrest. Treatment with hypothermia may be of value in the public health practices since cardiac arrests occur in high numbers each year. Induced hypothermia is used to treat patients with traumatic brain injuries as well, because it's been seen to decrease the diminishing functions of neurons. In conclusion, hypothermia is a life-threatening condition which is caused by exposure of extreme cold temperatures for extended periods of time. It causes dramatic decrease in body temperature, which ultimately affects the overall homeostasis and function of the body. Overall, hypothermia is important to consider, but it can also be used for potential new treatment. I hope you found this PowerPoint presentation very interesting, and I hope you do your own readings on therapeutic hypothermia, especially if you're considering the medical field like myself. If you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you so much.